as you guys know, it's a crazy business. Like anything, like there's nothing that should shock you, even though we get shocked once in a while.
They traded Luka.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn it.
Champagne liquor, pair of babe slippers, blue collar for the dollar. I'm in Pittsburgh. Young vet with rings, bitch I'm Derek Fisher, ballin' super hard. You can smell the swisher.
Oh, this is how we should definitely be vibing before the pod. So then whenever it interrupts at any time, we have something to like go back to versus just starting and it's weird.
Sure. I was on him because he said, we were talking about questions and stuff, and he said something about how, like, why does everyone you talk to, it's like talk so highly of Dudley? And I said, that's something I should ask you before he even gets here.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's been around so many of the greats that when he got around the youth, it was so easy for him to just sprinkle that little knowledge and lead by example and just be that voice. Mm-hmm. So it's always been, it's like a Dudley effect because he has this thought process towards everything. He's super calculated. He's super like fast on his. He's fast with everything he's doing. So it's like he's super witty, you know. So it's just like when he's around you, you adapt it. You kind of start moving that fast. You start thinking that fast. You start thinking at that rate. That's what I noticed. And I just remember being around Book and him being around Book. And then when I would come around Book again, just from him being around, you would see Book dissecting the game in a way that you could, like, I hear Dudley voice. You know what I mean? I hear Dud's voice if it's breaking down a 2-for-1, if it's breaking down a possessions the last 2 minutes and where it went wrong. Just anything like that, you can feel, you know, that effect from him. And that just goes from our younger group, from Karis LeVert to Spencer Dinwiddie. You know, we had Jared Dudley, but we had Ed Davis too and Damari Carroll. And it'd have been dope to get Spence on here. Get, you know, just to kind of, but Coach is Coach now, so it's cool to see his transition into who he's become. He's got a son that's killing it as well. I know he's always been smart and ahead of his years when he was like super young, so I can't imagine him now. He said his AAU team's dope. He's in the gym like at nighttime 2 or 3 times a week. Shout out to Dud, shout out to Papa Duds, man. He's, you know, I can't imagine what his kids are, you know, getting from just him being their pops. You know, there's a reason why when he was around Bron, he was his right hand man, like in everything. You know, when he was around Steve Nash, when he was around Giannis before in Milwaukee, Book in Phoenix, you know. Myself, when we were in Brooklyn, we were vibing. And I just, like when I always say, it always felt like class being around them and hearing them and listening to them.
Well,
Coach.
what up?
What's up, brother? You good?
Yeah.
Welcome to the You Dig. It's my boy Jordan.
What's up, man? You good?
Welcome to our team. It's our little team right here.
Team?
My
What's
boy
up, brother?
Logan.
Man, you good?
Good. How are you? Wait.
You sit down right here. My boy gonna mic you up.
Okay.
Sit right here. I wish Spence would have pulled up. That shit would have been crazy. Nah, I appreciate you coming, bro. I'm sure you probably seen Theo.
I seen the one. Yeah, I did with Theo Wake a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I thought you did one with Cat.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That was a good
We was
one.
in New York. We pulled up on Cat right when we got there. He came to show. What was it at his place?
Yeah.
Like, got a nice little boardroom in there. We did that. We did Chris Brickley in New York. We'll probably do some type of collaboration with Melo. You seen Melo's?
Yes.
He's got something like that too.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah.
We'll probably do that. But nah, this is cool, bro. I just wanted you to tap in, bro. I know you.
How long you been doing this for?
Officially, probably this summer we started like officially.
A year, right around a year.
Yeah, and we're not just doing anybody. We try to like
Right.
make it some type of connection. You know, I've crossed paths with a lot of people that, you know, I crossed paths, probably never connected with them again, and then some I really connected with and kept those connections going. So you're definitely one of those dudes. But before we just vibe into our shit. We don't really got nothing too crazy, but we were just talking about you, and he was like, what is something that, why is it that everybody speaks so high about you and really like feel that vibe that you give off and run with it right away? And I'm not asking you yet, but he was asking me.
Oh, got you.
And I was like, you got like an effect to you, like a duds effect. You know what I mean? Like you start moving like real fast and talking fast and think like right now. I know you like.
Yeah, no, it's a great question just because I think that a lot of players, especially when you're in college or whatever, you think like you're the man. I was never, even when I was ACC Player of the Year, I only had one play for me. So it wasn't like I was taking the shots from people. So overall, I just think my personality and my basketball game is just unselfish and authentic. So you can't like, it wasn't, when I was in college, it's not, if Craig Smith was averaging 17, I'm averaging 18, that's because I might have got 4 offensive rebounds.
Right.
And I was always the guy back then, hey, listen, give me the recruits. I'll make them sign. So the Tyrese Rices of the world, all the people I had. So the college guys would give me, and I'd show them BC, I'd show them what it's about, and I would tell them, hey, listen, you know, just like I would tell you, hey, you could start. This is the opportunity. If you don't start, you're coming off the bench playing 25.
Right.
And then once it happens, the conversations I have with you, you see it happen. Oh, that really motherfucker do know what he's talking about. Then, you know, and then, so I've never, like, even at Brooklyn, like, they said, hey, Kenny Atkins said, hey, you might play, you might not play. My whole thing is just, you try to be professional, you try to help. And then at the same time, what I learned when I coming in and when we had real vets is even on a bad team, season's too long not to have fun.
Right. You brought that
Bruh,
fun
it's
element
too
too.
long. Like, you get your head beat
I
in
will
by
say
30 or 40.
you was the first person
Yeah.
I seen like balance fun.
Yeah.
You know, within the season and be so calculated with how
Facts.
you're doing it and when we can rest and when we can have fun. When
Right.
we shouldn't and when we should.
Yes.
And you laid that
Because
out
you
from
try to do
early.
the coach. I do that now. I wish our team went out more. Those guys don't, you know, they don't ever do nothing. They don't gamble. So to me, there's an element, but
Missed from camaraderie. They're missing it for sure.
And even like people understand, like even when the Warriors were the Warriors at the time, Steph was the only one who was not like that. So when they used to play, if Iggy used to play and Draymond used to play,
They had a good
and
time.
David Lee used to play. I'm trying to think of different times of stuff that you had. So
It matters. It matters. I mean, on our best teams that I've been on my short time, I've had the most fun off the floor and it translated to on the floor. Even if we weren't winning, we were
Right.
having fun. And we were down 30, we were having fun. We were going to find a way to have some fun.
Well, man, listen, man, you know before the year starts, like that Brooklyn, that's considered a win.
For sure.
Bro, we wasn't supposed to go to the first round, second round
We
playoffs.
was like, we should maybe not win this game so
Bro.
we can get them in the playoffs.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. Like, so when
Nah,
you get
that's
to a
crazy.
season, bro, like when I was in Phoenix, they was trying to lose. So, hey, listen, guys. And we would try to tell those players, me and Tyson, like, yo, this is not the NBA.
Right.
We tell Book,
Young Book.
and we used to sneak, like, because they were so protective of him in a good way, we wouldn't even tell him when we go out. Me and PJ jail,
didn't
yo,
wanna
why
be
don't y'all
there.
tell me? Nah, bro,
Right.
because something happened, you don't do it, then it's a fall back on us.
You got to break that down, bro.
Yeah.
Being an older player on the
Yes.
team, you can be a bad influence to that younger player. Well, they may
Yeah.
see you as that.
They may
bad.
see you as
But
that.
you, as an older player, understand.
And
you're
no
like,
lie,
I
as a
can't
matter of
bring you
fact,
everywhere.
they actually even did, man. I'll tell a story if you do it on camera.
We won't cut if it ain't PG.
Yeah, no,
13,
that's
we'll
not bad.
cut
No,
it
it's not
out.
bad. Now listen,
Oh.
I got a private plane when we were in LA. I hit. It's so funny. Worldwide West, who's now that one. Jay-Z had a concert in San Diego, so we land like right now 4 or 5. It's literally a 20-minute flight to San Diego or a 2-hour drive.
Still be living.
Went to the
dude.
concert.
I'm jealous already.
Went to the
and
concert. We went to the concert. It was all 14, 15 of us. One plane.
Whole team. I
whole
remember Book telling me
team.
that. Book told me that.
And so we go there. I don't know, concert's at 7, done by 9:30, 10. Fly back. You know, the PJ, you're back at 11.
Come on.
Them dudes just going out to the club at that time when club was at its, I don't know if I can say its peak, but you know, everyone was going out. You were getting back to 2:30. And so we ended up losing by 20. We were down by 20 at half, came back, ended up losing by 20. They trying to blame us. I said, we're trash. We're trying
They trying to blame him
lose.
for it, though.
Hey,
That's
Jared,
crazy,
Jared, that's not a
bro.
good vet. I said, "Not a good- for the whole team." And I looking back on it, maybe because we flew in, I could see that. I just thought that San Diego was a little bit different.
was
If we would
convenient.
drove down,
That's too much.
now because the flight it being 20 minutes,
That's too
and also
much.
too, I also think it's, you know, if I did that with the Lakers, I've done worse stuff.
no, nothing would happen.
We've flown to Vegas,
Come on, I
partied,
know.
come back,
I know. bro.
and won.
It's crazy how some teams look at that stuff as like a big deal, and then some teams it's like that ain't nothing. Bro.
Well, Tyson was there. Dog, Tyson's considered one of the best vets or pros of being professional and how you have it and how you do it. But
Where he at now?
he's with us.
He's with the player development and stuff. Or
Yeah, but he's player development, but he comes and goes.
Right.
Like, whenever you need me, I'm here.
He live in Dallas.
Live in Dallas.
He probably got some land, big land.
Crazy land.
Yeah,
There's a
I
school
know how
called.
he
You
live.
gotta look at when you leave here. A school called Allen High School.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
That's
Football-
Kyler.
Kyler's. Yeah.
Bro, yeah. So I mean, this football stadium was 50 million. That's where his sons go.
What?
Bro, the basketball team was dumb. They just lost to Melo's team in the national championship, whatever.
The hell?
School
Dallas,
nice.
I'm already
No,
knowing.
bro.
Shout out Tyson, bro.
Yeah.
I remember him when we first got in the league. Like I said, with Book, I was telling him about the JD effect. Like when we first got around to the NBA, obviously there's little nuances of the game that you don't know as a young player, as far as 2-for-1s,
Yep.
ATOs, underneath, last 2 minutes going into the half. Like just this little clock management that you don't understand. And I remember
Got a foul to give.
all
When
that.
to do it.
I remember going this way with my team, Book going his way. But I remember you came to Phoenix, and then that next summer we watching the playoffs, or we chilling, we watching basketball, and I could just hear him breaking down the game in a way that when did you get that part, bro? I'm recognizing it from him. Like when you get this 2-for-1, understanding the clock, call timeout, coach call timeout. I'm looking at him like, bro, how you know that? And then I get around you the next year, and I'm like, that's where you got it from, JD. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
It's a cool
you know
trait.
listen, you guys, how many years you go to college? 1?
Yeah.
So, the more you play, I went 4 years, and I was in the Big East. At that time, you had Calhoun, who was still a UConn.
UConn.
So, at that time, big time. Bayheim, who's still that one.
Syracuse.
Pitt was a top 10 team at that time. BC, we just got into the
Slick
top
back.
25. Dixon.
Yep.
Dixon was
With
the
the-
Pitt,
yep,
but
yep.
they were
Notre
nice.
Dame. I remember.
Notre Dame. So we had that conference, and then my last 2 years, then I go ACC. So the amount of coaches, strategic play, Coach K calling a timeout anytime you go on a 4-6-0 run. That's considered
Right away.
That's similar to Carlisle in Indiana.
how
You
my
can't
coach
go
is
on
now.
a run, So it's so much different basketball scenarios that I was in, and then
How was you sponging all that up?
I
at
was
the
spongy.
time?
And it started in high school. My high school coach was Zach Jones, and he played college basketball, played overseas, and he would just. It was the first time I was watching film in high school.
Right.
At that time, that wasn't even as prevalent back then. Like it wasn't like during the regular season you beat everybody down, but by like playoffs and championship, he would tell you this is what he likes to do. And for me,
So you could break down the whole film before you got to college.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
but that was my thing. Some people have God-given athletic ability. Of
course.
Mine was just being cerebral, understanding the game, because I didn't, wasn't blessed with that one. Mine was just understanding tendencies of players, understanding.
How you give that to your little one?
So now with my little one, it's more for him. It's watching film and then now understanding it. So when we're at practice, so I actually now last 2 years, I'll go to the practices and help the coach. Hey, and we'll do pick and roll. Pause. Stop. You see how he went under? Anytime someone's go under, it's a shot or automatic rescreen. So you already know the counters. You know what I'm
arteries
saying?
of it.
But listen,
Yeah.
even before me, like you see Gilbert Arenas and how he does his
in the
son.
mix.
Hey, they put someone the team is not as talented. Go get 40.
Yep.
How to understand it, or
Any good parent, I feel like, has that calculated approach with their kid
Yeah.
on what they could do. My dad did the same way. He sent me to boarding school, and he was just like, if I didn't send you to boarding school, you was the best player in the state. But if you go to boarding school, you ain't the best player. You got to learn how to be that player. And
Right.
I probably would have went to college and not been ready if I didn't leave. So
Yeah,
that shit matters.
And I think with my kid, the difference is, and you see it now, especially with Braun and his kid, is when I got done playing. Now my son is 8, 9. Let's get in the gym. When you're later on, and you know how this summertime, like you've been playing basketball the whole time. You got a kid.
Chill.
You're chilling. When my kid was younger, I'm trying to take naps. Let's go on vacation. Now you get older, it's like, okay, I'm
give you
investing
that.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I love that. I can't wait.
Man,
All right, everybody, before we get back to this episode with Jared Dudley, I got to talk to you a little bit about Prize Picks. Basketball playoffs is in full effect, so please download Prize Picks, use code BACKYARD, and you have the opportunity to 2,000x your cash today. Make sure you're playing on Tuesdays, Taco Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount your several projections on the board, which is usually 15 to 25%. And on Fridays, make sure you opt in and check the box in your lineup to be eligible for Flex Fridays. So download the app, use code BACKYARD, and get your lineup in today. Let's get into the video.
I can't wait.
I just went to the gym today with him.
Yeah.
So I saw how your pod was at 7. I was like, Juju, let's go get an hour in. Hey, This is going to be off ball, pin downs, learning how to set them up. Tomorrow might be pick and roll.
Love that.
And the only thing that I can't give them is more the handles. So it might be Tyler Ralph. It
Or
might
come to
be,
Camp D-Lo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo, Sham God.
Yeah.
Yo, Sham,
Yeah,
go
he
ahead.
right there.
They got the cones over there. I'm
hard.
like,
That's
and then
hard.
I'll try to do it, but damn, you can't. Yeah, you're right.
I remember he was
Listen.
with Phil Handy.
Yes,
He was
in
with
the
Lakers.
bubble.
He got all that.
No,
bro.
you see Rondo's son? No, they're all.
Come on.
No, they're all. Bro. So I'm saying, so my son and his son, and the difference of Rondo's son got a little girth in him right now. My son's so small, so like I'm waiting on the
gonna
back
hit that spurt
end.
for sure.
Jamal Crawford, my son was with Jamal Crawford's
Son's
a grown
crazy.
baller right now.
His
He's
son's
in the
crazy.
8th grade.
Shout out to
His
him.
game is just like that. So
It's
it's
natural,
the evolution, these NBA players investing in their kids, understanding that AAU basketball is at an all-time low of quality play,
Grassroots,
and
for
now
sure.
they're taking their kids into the gym, and that's all it is. And
For sure.
not like they didn't do it before. We just have more money now, so you didn't have to have Steph Curry's dad being a broadcaster. Yeah, you can, but or obviously, hey, listen, whatever job I have, you with me in the gym.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was your son right? My bad, Link. I know you. We going. We
Yeah, no,
on that treadmill. Does is here. We out,
Yeah.
boy.
Go ahead, keep
But no, I was gonna ask you, like, after games and stuff, is your son super emotional when he loses, when he don't do well? Like, how is he?
Early on, like when I started not playing for the Lakers, I'm not getting any time. Why don't you play? He didn't
Didn't understand,
understand.
of course.
He didn't understand. And then once I got into the coaching aspect and wanting us to win the championship when we lost, Lakers we won, and why did we keep losing? I'm like, man, it's hard to win in the NBA.
Right.
And I tell him of that, just like when he plays his games. And you know how it is when you're in junior high, elementary. When you win, you're winning by 40, 50,
Right.
unless you play a team that's your caliber, especially if you have a good team.
Right.
But nah, he gets it now, and with the social media, I would love him to love it more. He loves basketball, but when I was a kid, I can name every college, every NBA. He can do NBA, but his is more the YouTube highlight reel clips. He done Mr. Beast, Kai Cenat, knows all of them. Knows all the the little groups.
I mean, how could you not? The way they marketing those dudes, putting them out there on everything.
And I was more watching the games.
Right.
My mom was a Laker fan. My dad was from Wilmington, Bulls fan. So they had that rivalry. So I'm in there watching. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different element how these kids are. And I never forced it. And then now 7th grade. All right, now let's get going.
Loves it.
Yeah.
We sat down with a couple top prospects, and they said that they don't really watch the game. They just watch like the clips and the highlights on social media. So
You're losing a whole
It's-
side of it from
You
just doing
don't
that.
even get to see the nuances of how these coaches are coaching. And now, like, man, it's such a big business with the NIL. Like, I'm going to hold my son back. My son, 7th grade, I'm going to wait to 8th grade. And you look at it now, the big thing when I wasn't growing up was prep school. They would prep school. I'm looking at Shedeur Sanders in football, entering the draft at 23. When I came into the league, I was 20 years old, turning 21 in July. So I was 20 when I graduated college.
Yeah.
And I see these guys were 2-3 years older. And now how I listen to Rick Pitino, I was listening to Bruce Pearl. They're not taking that many high school seniors. They're
taking
doing all
older,
transfer.
yeah.
So why don't I have my son, if he's ready at that time, hey, you be 20, or at that time, instead of 18 being 19, possibly 20, graduate at 24. You don't make it to the NBA. You get 4 years of NIL,
Set you up for your life.
$500K in the bank.
Set you
now
up.
you set debt free.
When I hear NIL, first thing I think of is a 4-year college player starts or builds some type of industry on campus, and now he franchises it on campus, and then he just like makes millions. Like, that's what I think of. Like, I just think of like, just do it on campus, stay on campus. You're not gonna be a pro. Just stay there, make a barbershop or in some clothing apparel, and watch it go crazy because it's right there. You started when you was playing.
I think it's straight financial freedom. Like, to be able to go to school debt free and come out, if you're doing it right, if you're a top player, you got millions, you coming out with a couple $100,000, that's just a blessing. Like,
For sure.
To be able to buy a house at 20 years old, $300,000 house, like, that's just a different set of freedom that everybody walks into.
They're hiring general managers now. Because Jensen, who just got our second assistant.
What you mean, hiring?
So how it's crazy. So our second assistant, Alex Jensen, just got the Utah job. He played at Utah, went to the Final Four, and he just took the Sacramento, I think, assistant GM. He's now their GM for Utah. So he doesn't, the head coaches a lot of times don't deal with the player and the money. It's the general manager. So, hey, they pay you whatever they get from their boosters, whatever. So the coaches now, there's no hands exchange. I'm just coaching you. You're going through them. And so that's why it's such a business where, hey, listen, there's kids entering the portal that are still in the Sweet 16.
That's crazy. I
Because,
saw that.
but you know what? It's like how the NBA, where people determine who has a cap space the next season, who you looking to trade. We do the same thing.
I
to
know,
be
but
honest
that's
with you.
no. But college is crazy, bro.
Right.
They got to put a little tax, little cap on that, bro. Like kids are in the portal before they even leave,
And
before
the
the
yeah.
season ends. Like that's crazy.
Because how I think Bruce Pearl just talked about in his, it's only the top Sweet 16 ones.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
trying to make it so, make it so, hey, listen, I know it's not fair to those guys, but the other ones trying to find where they're trying to go. But man,
That's
listen,
fair. That's fair.
I'm hearing these kids, the ones that aren't even that good, 350, 400K.
For sure.
A kid from, I heard, 500K didn't play.
For sure. It's out there.
Bro, listen, so
It's
when
out
I see
there.
that, so now parents are already crazy AAU. Now it's such a business. You ain't got to make it to the NBA now to take
Make
care of
it,
yourself,
for
to really
sure.
make it. You know
Yep,
what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
so.
What
That's
what I know you coaching NBA now, but would you be interested in college first?
That's a great, I was talking about someone.
Because I see you in college turning up on some Deion Sanders.
Oh,
shit.
man.
I see you on that.
I'd have,
I ain't gonna lie
hey,
to
listen,
you.
my Midnight Madness would be insane.
I see you
Listen,
on that. Because think about how many
real.
people you would have Nash pull up, Bron pull up, Katie
Bro.
pull up, Book pull up. You know everybody,
Yeah.
bro. That's crazy.
I mean, especially, I signed with Clutch this last summer.
See?
And New Balance is BC. Now, when I say that, just because I don't feel like I'm so close, but I'm close enough in arm's reach of being a head coach. And only, if you look at the new modern day coaches coming up, the Willie Greens of the world, you have.
I see you being a pioneer, starting something different.
Yeah,
though.
you could. But my whole thing is, just to be honest with you, the money's so super good.
For sure.
And how many ex-players that really.
Deion just signed for 50.
Right.
But
I
I'm
had
just saying.
Shaq and Nash. I've had Giannis, Book, you, Braun, CP, and then now when I go speak to, when I had Luca, now I have AD of just to talk to them. Now I want to see how it is as a head. Hey, listen, because I'm gonna be honest with you, keep it real, which that's 60% of the problem from these coaches and GMs not telling you, what's
You're
the
not
real.
that good, but
Right. And so what you expect, and some of it is, hey, listen, you are good. It's the business. Let me talk to your agent. I won't make it look bad. Some of that is working with it.
But you have that you have that happy median
Yeah.
personality to where like
Yeah.
you come in the league, you can be that. You can make it transpire. Like
Right.
I'm thinking college to where we talk about there's a problem with the grassroots, there's a problem with the NIL, there's a problem. If you do it on the basketball side, bring that swag that Deion did.
No, for sure.
That shit would change it, bro. Like dudes are just gonna filter right to you, bro.
Right. No, you're right. No, you're
He gave out the blueprint. It's just who gonna do it.
yeah.
basketball
and
side.
who has the resources? Prime is prime. I'm not saying no one can from college basketball. I'm not saying I couldn't have
prime
an
behind
effect.
the scenes.
I
You
could
got
find
some
effect,
prime,
but no.
too.
Listen, I think it's the connections. It's Nike.
humble.
It's all the ones you have that you can use. Your resources from
No,
it.
for
But-
sure. For
and
sure.
also too, you got to have if you become a head coach or you're a top assistant, those other schools might look at you to be able to. So now what's happening, more and more assistants are taking head coaching jobs. My man from BYU, who's Kevin Young, who was with the Suns, head coach of BYU.
Yep.
So that's really
I did
what's
see
happening.
that. I
Yeah,
did
no,
see
so
that.
so it's happening. The question is this the right job?
Right.
For me to go to BC, for me to go, my old AD from BC's at UCLA, what's the NIL? I would even take if my salary was $3-4 million. I take $2 million and put it to NIL.
You heard him,
'Cause you
yo.
gotta get the kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different strategies you can have behind it.
I just could see you there doing that, and then obviously the NBA is the NBA. You can't beat that, but
I got a question for you. How does it feel to you grew up with a lot of these players in your draft class and all of that. You got JJ Redick, who you was against, and what was it, the ACC tournament or whatever. Like, how's it see now to see y'all go from that to now y'all coaching? Y'all went from playing to now y'all are like head coaches and y'all are really looking at it from a whole different perspective. How's that?
I mean, to be honest with you, it kind of makes sense, even though at that time it didn't, just because the game and the players and generations have already changed and evolving in the sense of how they hang out when they're video games to social media. And so I caught the end of the social media. Shaq was the first one to put me on Twitter. He was the one that put the rule in, tweeting for the Suns at halftime. So I was there for when it first started getting started. I'm like, yo, what's Twitter? And that's how I got connected with it early on. Shaq was the first. You can look that up. Shaq was the first one tweeting at halftime. So you see that, so that someone like JJ, Willie Green, T. Lou, how he was a little bit before me and stuff like that. But to talk to these new players, to see how it is with their agents, everyone has a boy, everyone has a team, and understanding that team is important because they're around the asset, the player. Most so, to me, people say, hey, I don't want the whole group there. hey, who's number 1 and number 2 in the group? Let me holler at them.
Right.
Hey, keep them right. Because, people understand that, they thought that the word posse was a negative, AI and stuff like that. But the posse back then is different than it is now.
sure.
They putting their boys on. Y'all started podcasts. These dudes are getting in real estate. These boys are courtside making connections and deals. It's a totally different outlook of how it may be.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He just smoothed over that one. That was a bar.
Nah, for real. It's so different how I look at, Braun gave the blueprint of how it is. I've seen Book and how his crew and how his doing. They was out there with Johnson, he was playing ball running, and now he's running stuff for him. So it's just
Avery.
So for me, it only makes sense because we identify as a player. We were, if you want to call it role players or good players, we understand the work ethic it takes. We talking to the stars, holding the locker room down. But now the question is can you communicate at that level for a guy who's from Alabama, from the hood, from a white guy overseas? And that's where you have to have such good assistance because you can only do so much. But now you're the person when you're in front of the locker room. Do they believe what you're saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing as a player. Yes, can you do that? And then my big thing was accountability. You know what, fellas? This loss is on me. Bring it in 1, 2, 3. Throw the film away. We're not doing that film today.
Flush it.
Yeah. With some people, they don't have that balance of flush it. You know what? Miami beat us tonight. It's all right. Let's get the next one in DC. Vice versa. You know what? No, this is on y'all. D-Lo, watch this film session. I'm on your ass.
Yep.
So it's the balance where we should know because we've had 7, 8 coaches. We see which coach was. I had Larry Brown. Film sessions were 3 hours, no clips.
What you mean no clips?
No clips. Usually you have 18 clips or 20.
Yeah.
Play it, start, jump ball.
What?
In there.
Watching the game. That's crazy.
Hey, his brothers that were on the staff falling asleep. Wake up, Herb. Dog, if anybody knows Larry Brown, some old heads that watch it, they'll tell you.
That's crazy.
From D'Antoni, 3 clips.
Get out of here.
Boom. 3 offensive clips. Here we go. Push, boom, boom. Here we go. Stretch. So I done seen it from Doc Rivers, Doc Rivers, I tell people all the time, like, he had the best speeches. His pregame speeches, I was like, oh.
Give me a Doc Rivers. Give me a Doc Rivers.
Man,
he
had a Doc one.
He's ready.
That's a good Doc. Doc said, just finished his first year. Playing. I think it was his first year, Doc, if I get the story a little distorted. But first or second year playing, he's in LA, goes back from the summer. He's working out, he's doing his thing. And he's walking by in LA. I don't know if it's Malibu or Manhattan Beach. He's walking down the beach and Kareem is there. I believe it's Kareem. I think it was Kareem of being all-star. And at that time, he's walking by and he goes up to Kareem because he's like getting a workout in to say hello. And Kareem's like, no autographs.
To Doc.
To Doc, kind of like stiffs on him. Like, yo, no autographs. Like,
Tone know that one.
He said, wait, what? he said, what? Like, I just played against you 2 months ago or a month ago. So he goes back there and walks. And so the moral of the story, he keeps going. He's like, the next time I play them up, the next year I had 28 and a win. So after tonight, when you go play these guys, make sure they remember your name. Bring it in on 3. Once. I was like, okay. I was like, yo, he had Doc had the story. So like, shout out to Doc. Shout out to Doc. A combination of different stories to
just knowing how to get your players. Yeah,
I've heard the Pat Riley stories of when they won the finals of, putting his head in ice cold water and putting down there, and it was taking. I think Haslam tried to get him out the water, and he wouldn't. And then he come out there and he's bright red, spitting cold water, holding his breath for a minute, saying, "That's what's gonna take a win a championship." Bro, there's a lot of so you hear these stories, and you want to be able to use them for your own time. So when my time comes of how you want to be able to motivate from a bad team to a young team that you're trying to elevate a book of yourself to an all-star.
Oh my, look, bro, look, look, man, the Jared Dudley effect, man. Listen, we should just end it off that, bro.
I mean,
listen, bro. The playoffs are right around the corner, right, bro? That's a fun time, bro. That's a lot to talk about.
I mean, who you like, bro? That's the biggest.
Give me the layout, because I don't even know who's in it. No, I'm just playing.
That's crazy. We have Minnesota and LA.
Yep. All right, let's stop there.
Okay.
Just give me.
I'm gonna have to pull up all the matchups.
So do that, and we'll go through what each individual thing is,
NBA
and then
playoffs.
You'll say yours. We can get Jordan to say his, and we'll revisit that at some point, right? So you said Minnesota, Lakers. I think Minnesota can beat anybody. And they could lose to I mean, obviously the best teams in the league are in the playoffs right now. So they lose to the Lakers, like they lost to the Lakers. Lakers could go on and win it all too. But I do think Minnesota is a team that if they beat the Lakers, they can really shock the world.
And that's just because of the talent they have.
They got the talent. I love their bench. Love their bench. Bench is really a key component in the playoffs. Love coaching the coaching staff. Finch and all those dudes got the best out of each individual guy there right now. So I mean, but the Lakers might mop them. So it's like you never. I tell people anything can happen when it comes to this point.
What like the matchup like that? Because now you have like Luka, but then you have guys like Jaden, and then you have like Austin and Bron.
I think
Joey,
all
so
those
like,
dudes got to come alive, but I do think Minnesota has the defenders to make it tough for LA.
Yeah.
They have the defenders.
I think even though Luka's on the Lakers now too, I think Minnesota is like they still got to get their lick back on Luka because like Luka put up numbers last year against Jaden. Like
he kicked their ass.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen anybody do it like that the way Luka did it. And they got Bron, and it's like and AR is playing unbelievable. So it's like anything can happen. That's gonna be interesting.
So
who I'm taking, right?
Yeah. Who you got?
But I can't bet against my dog AR, bro. I feel like he gonna be the X factor and be the reason they win type shit. Like
I can see it.
you feel me? Like he gonna do something to where it's like he made that shot. He got that putback. He got that tip it. He got that free throw. Like he got it. So I can't bet against them, bro. But also Ant, Jaden, Rudy, Mike, like they got so many bodies, bro. They have so many bodies, bro.
For sure. All right. Well, so you got.
I'm going Minnesota, man.
All right, so you got Minnesota.
Which is Minnesota.
All right, Minnesota, and then we'll go to the Eastern Conference, and you got Milwaukee versus the Pacers.
Milwaukee versus the Pacers. This no Dame. Who they starting? Kevin Porter Jr.?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't either. That's why we need a Jamie on here. Like,
We do.
Kevin on here. Like, where's Kevin? I think Minnesota. I mean, not Minnesota. I think Milwaukee has this unstoppable force in the name of Giannis that I don't think Indiana's got it. But Obi Toppin is on some shh.
I like the Pacers.
Nimhard on some shh. You're an Indiana fan.
Not even that though. I think like the Pacers have a team to be able to compete with Giannis being as unstoppable as that he is.
That's fair.
And they play really good basketball. I feel like in Indiana, it's very free flowing. They share the rock. They're tough to guard. I feel like because they share the ball so well. And we heard it firsthand. Like they got a great system, great coach. I feel like I'm going Pacers, bro.
I'm going Milwaukee, right? All right. So we know that one. Where are we going next?
Clippers, Denver.
Ooh.
First and foremost, do you think Jokic should win MVP?
Let's hold that one. Let's hold that. We'll finish this segment with that one. I definitely think, once again, Kawhi Leonard looked like Kawhi Leonard, bro. So I think everybody should be worried about the Clippers. But I will say, Jokic gonna win MVP. He should be going on like his 5th MVP right now. And that is what it is. That's where I'm standing. I mean, Shea is, we gonna hold on all of that because Shea Flowers, brother. I ain't taking nothing from you. But like, we can't just keep looking over, dude, bro. Like, I wish I would say it louder so y'all could hear me, but I'm gonna say it a little lower so y'all can just tune in and put y'all ear a little closer to what I'm saying.
So you think
Denver's unbelievable
Denver's gonna get the job done?
against the Clippers? I think coaching matters, and Denver don't really have that.
No.
They have that problem in that situation. I think that can either be the reason they win too. They just have this like raw feeling just out there too. But Jokic is who he's the best player in the world. So I just feel like I can't bet against him. But if Kawhi and James do what they've been doing all season, there's no way they lose. So
If Kawhi stays healthy,
I'm not gonna say that because he's gonna stay healthy. I'm going Clippers, bro. I'm going Clippers.
so I just
think they got a better team.
Kawhi healthy, I think the Clippers are a scary team.
Yeah, they just got a better team, bro. No offense. So
All right.
Clippers, we agreed on that.
I think Clippers.
All
Yeah.
right.
I think it's with there's smoke, there's fire, and it's like you just got rid of.
It catches up. I feel like.
Yeah, and so it's like
Catches
whatever
up.
was going on behind the scenes, I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
Pistons, Knicks.
Pistons, Knicks. I was saying it today. I was just like, everybody play hard and play tough in the playoffs. So the Pistons with that advantage they've been having all season. Shout out to Cade. Shout out to Bees. Shout out to Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duran. They toughness. I man Thomas. Is that I man? I man Thomas. Mm-hmm. Right? I want to say it right, respectfully. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure SAR is
Respect.
Houston.
Respect. But yeah, I love what they got going on. I don't see them beating them.
The Knicks.
Yeah. I don't see them beating the Knicks.
I agree with you. I think they've rebuilt the right way, but I don't think they're there yet.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough matchup for them first round.
Yeah, to make that run in the playoffs, like I think they're on the way, but I don't know if that's them yet.
I could see them doing some shit like get the first game or something, and then like have everybody like and then it'd be like nah, just over experience over time. That I like all that all that chaotic stuff that they be trying to pull during the regular season, like during the playoffs, bro. Like they let that stuff play. But a lot of that stuff become a distraction. You know what I mean? Like you think it's cool, real shit. You think it's cool, but then it's like the media and the fans and everybody get a hold of it. Now it's trending, and it's like everybody talking about that, and that became a distraction to the team. Now that's what the other team used to, and that shit matters, bro. I remember Dylan Brooks did that with Bron, and like that shit came back and bit him in the ass.
So you're going with
who is
Knicks?
it? Yeah, I'm going with the Knicks. On the Knicks.
All right.
It's SAR, by the way. SAR Thompson.
Yep.
Oh, did we do that right?
Nah, I said I'm in.
It was the opposite.
Yeah.
Orlando versus Boston.
Who did you pick?
The Knicks.
Knicks?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Orlando versus Boston. I love what Orlando's doing though. They're just missing a few pieces, right? I think they're missing a few pieces. Love what they're doing, bro. They could surprise a lot of teams. You can't just give them that over the Celtics, bro. You just can't give them that. No chance. So Boston.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going Boston too. I mean, they're the defending champs, and it's their matchup problems for pretty much every team.
Love that.
Golden State and Houston.
Ooh. I think that's going to be one of the most exciting ones because we just saw Golden State look very average against Houston. Nobody want to talk about it, but like they looked real average against Houston, bro. It was a hell of a game. And Steph didn't even play great, and it was like a hell of a game, but they just looked a little average. And Houston's young, ready. But I think experience going to get that one, bro. I ain't going to lie to you.
I think that Golden State got a unlucky draw from the whole scheduling.
Because playing Houston?
Well, no. From like since Jimmy has been there, they have played really good basketball, and they were just a little bit too bad before Jimmy got there, and then the tiebreakers and everything, and now they had to play in the play-in. Mm-hmm. Like I think they're a better team than what their
Golden
seed
State
is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I think
sure.
I think Houston got the low end of that stick because I think that Golden State's a team that I could see win the championship.
Bro, for sure, bro. I think Golden State's one of the scarier teams too. And if they beat Houston, it's like imagine Golden State beating Houston and Timberwolves beating the Lakers. That is like whoa. Mm-hmm. And that's like people not seeing that, right? And then I see Golden State. Like I put it this way: teams that have that, when you watch the NFL and you watch that 2-minute drill, when the team gotta score, and you watch that quarterback put that hat on. That's what Golden State has in order. They have their 2-minute drill locked in, just like Denver did where they knew Jamal Murray was gonna come off of a ball screen, he was gonna hit Jokic in the short roll, and he was gonna either throw the lob, shoot the floor, or spray it to Caldwell Pope. Like they knew their formula. Denver is lacking that right now, and that's why I think Clippers are gonna get them. Golden State has that formula with Steph and with Steve and with Draymond, with all those dudes that they plug and play with, that nobody can hide against them. Like if Luka or whoever you're trying to hide against the Golden State Warriors, like it's going to get exposed because coaching in that 2-minute drill that they just got on lock. So I think that's where they're going to beat them in experience. Houston going to throw that turnover. Houston going to do something that it's just going to cost them. So good luck.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm riding with the Warriors as well. But this is where we don't technically know yet because right now we still have to have the Kings play the Mavs.
Okay.
And the winner of that will play Memphis. And the winner of that plays OKC. So it's either Memphis, the Mavs, or the Kings playing OKC. So
I think Memphis going to beat the Mavs, and I think who Kings got to play?
the Kings have to play the Mavs, and the winner of that plays Memphis.
Oh, okay, yeah. I definitely think the Memphis is gonna find a way to. I haven't seen the Kings. I don't really know what their makeup of their team looks like and how they. I have no idea.
Zach and DeMar are hooping, and DeMontis is DeMontis. So
And they got Valanciunas. Like I don't know the makeup of their team, so I'm really just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely say Memphis is coming out of all of that.
I agree with that.
And
then
the AD may change the direction of that, but I'm just going Memphis.
And yeah, so then we would have one of those three teams versus OKC.
OKC walking like first round. They walking through first round.
No matter who they play.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, they walking through the first round. I don't think they're gonna get challenged until like second round, obviously. Yeah.
So then we have the Bulls to play the Heat, and the winner of that plays the Hawks to play the Cavs.
I think the Bulls come out of that for some reason.
Bulls have been playing good basketball.
Yeah, I just see the Bulls beating the Heat, but you can't count the Heat out, bro, the way they do it.
I'm taking the Bulls over the Heat, but I think the Hawks are coming out of the play-in. So I think the Hawks are going to beat the Bulls.
I can see that. I can see that.
I think the Cavs, same way of OKC, I think they're going to win that first round and kind of like stamp of like we are here.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with all of that.
All right. Well,
that was it.
I mean, that's the first round. I mean,
yeah, we got to revisit that because I want us to revisit all of the seeds that we planned as far as like where teams are going to be.
If you had to pick one team right now to win it all, before seeing anybody play in the playoffs, I think we should get one.
Can I say West and East? Not one team. Because
I
I'm
like-
not going to bet against Boston.
I like this. I like this though because everybody picks their team, but it's like we haven't seen
Nobody beat Boston.
but we haven't seen these teams play in the playoffs yet, and you know, like playoff basketball is different. So it's like
But I know anything can happen.
for sure. So it's like I feel like I want to pick a few teams. Like one, like yeah, I like Eastern and Western Conference, but at the same time, it's like I might see a few games and be like, I don't know.
Yeah, so then you changing your ticket,
Yeah.
which ain't legal. So
So we're locking it in. All right.
So I'm saying Boston and Cleveland are going to be like in the East. Anything can happen.
Okay.
So I hope that they're on the sides where anything can happen. And then whoever wins this Minnesota game, I feel like is going to play Golden State. However that's going to work out. And then that's going to be the two head honchos on the West, and then you got the two on the East, and then you make it to the finals. It's like anything can happen, but we haven't seen nobody beat Boston, so it's like Boston, right? Yeah, but then Cleveland can. So, and then you see Cleveland play Minnesota in the championship. It's like the fuck.
I mean, that'd be
Nobody thought that was gonna happen.
No. But both those teams are, yeah.
So it's like.
I think we revisit this because I like those same teams. Like I really do think that whoever comes out of LA and Minnesota are gonna be a team to wreak havoc.
But you got this Kawhi Leonard dude that you just cannot forget about, bro.
Bro, we'll revisit this, bro.
He looked like he should be like the Terminator or somebody. That's his like. He really like the Terminator. Why ain't nobody said that?
They've done
They did, right? Yeah, okay, all right. Because that's what I think of when I think of this dude. When he right, he's a machine. So we're going to leave you all with that. Shout out to everybody that's going to be tuned in. I'm going to leave y'all with this, but I do think Shea is playing unbelievable on some Kobe shit. Like, closest thing to Kobe we've seen since Kobe. And, bro, it's unbelievable. I'm talking about Kobe with the fro, too. Like, number 8. He on that. But Jokic should have, like, 5 MVPs, bro. Like, we can't keep looking over dude like this, bro. Like, dude, really unbelievable. He's really unbelievable,
he is.
bro. So,
But all right, y'all. Playoffs are here, man. Shout out to Prize Picks. This is your official backyard picks. And by just hearing, you know what I'm saying, a guy that knows a little bit more about basketball than me, I'm definitely going to have Jokic in my lineups. I'm definitely going to have SGA in my lineups, Kawhi, and AR. I'm rocking with those boys all playoffs. And let's get back into the episode. It's crazy hearing you say that, though, because before I got to be around like high-level athletes that play basketball at this level, I feel like one of the biggest questions was like, why do NBA players need coaches? Like, why do they need to have coaches? They're already the best of the best. Like, why do they? And you spilling all that out, I'm over here. It's like, this is exactly why.
because every nuance.
Because in basketball now, like when you're a coach, you're more than just a coach, man. Like from a therapist, from, you know, psychologically in the sense of, you don't know if they're going through a divorce, a baby mama trouble, finance problem, advisor trying to, you know, and so when they come here, this is like their sanctuary of basketball. So your communication skills, you don't know what they went. They could be high from now, weed right now. Anyone can smoke in the NBA before how it was. And so now your talking points of how to get through them. So the respect level. Half of it is through respect. So someone like JJ, he comes in, doesn't matter he coached before. They respect his work ethic. Now to you already halfway in the door. Do you know your ATOs? Can you communicate with them?
Are you shaking?
Half people are, not even half, 70% are scared to call up the star. You know, I remember on film sessions, you know, I was the one a lot of times saying something to Braun, yo, rewind that back, coach. Yo, Braun, you can't do that. Or vice versa, or Giannis in timeouts, you listen, and he was younger. And so that to me is accountability. So you need that because these athletes are getting paid $40 to $60 million. Everyone tells them they're the best. They should be scoring more. My boys are telling me, yo, you should average 15. I'm like, 15? I'm like, I don't even got an ISO game. I'm like, 15.
You don't
Like, what are you talking about? You don't understand that. And so that's what it is. And so you got to be able to keep it real. And also the hardest thing is the sacrifice of winning. To see a team where you have to win, like someone who's really good has to sacrifice. Bosh. How good is Drew Holiday and those boys for Boston? Like Drew Holiday will score 6 to 8 points and not care. A lot of these stars and others aren't care, man. It's a lot harder than you see. I've seen it now in the coaching. We went to the finals. We went to the Western Conference Finals. I've had Luka, Brunson, Kyrie. They said Kyrie was a headache from all over. No, Kyrie's been the best. I've had no problems. How his energy, work ethic, personality. It's like a whole night and day. And that has to do with Jason Kidd. The respect level he had for Kidd. What Kidd lets him be his personality, wear his brand, do his thing. But I need this from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Meet him in the middle. I noticed you when I was playing. I remember you used to do your high steps.
Yep.
Used to do your high jump, like all that. And I used to be like, why are you doing that? Like, come on, bro. And now,
you know where I got it from?
Who that?
It's a video. If you go on YouTube, it's at Portland. They used to be Steve Nash's routine. He used to boom, hold. And now you see it now a lot of now is if you watch KD workout, he turns and flips and shoots. He got that from Nash. If he didn't get it from Nash started it before he did. And so Nash had him in Golden State. But that's the whole balance and, you know.
But you used to do it on some like staying loose, like staying warm.
Oh, man.
And I used to be like, what the hell? And then now I find myself
you see it when you're going through your injuries and all that.
Yeah, like I gotta get loose before you just throw me out there, coach.
Listen, if you don't activate your VMOs, you've been sitting there, hips get tight. Nah, listen, especially me going out there, them boys are already more athletic and faster.
You picked up a ball?
You know what? This is the first year that I haven't really hooped. I was hooping like one of my jobs as third assistant was when you were in rehab. So like Luka coming back, I gotta get you ready. So how I get you ready is it's not really pickup. It's like a design
pickup.
Control. Hey, listen, you're in a drop, Luka. I'm Royce O'Neal. I'm picking a pop. I want you to close out. Second side.
Respect.
You know, hey, that's how I was. Hey, listen, let's attack Luka. Let's attack. Kyrie's coming back here. Let's put Kyrie in ball screens. Hey, listen, let's trap him on these screens. So that was my job, my first 2-3 years. So yeah, I was hooping with him and talking trash, game winners.
I love that. I remember taking us back
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
For sure. I remember taking us back though. I was in Minnesota, and at the time they were like, "What? Is there any veteran guys out there you think that we should probably add to the team?" I was like, "Yo, Jared Dudley," and we ended up having a conversation. He's
Yeah.
like, "What you think?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, we got to get Jared. Like that would be a great for Ant. All these young dudes coming in as well." And they were like, "Can he still play?" I'm like, "It's bigger than basketball." And
Yeah.
like, it's and I'm like, we're thinking. I'm like, next week you get a job with Dallas. Right? Then you go down. You went right to Dallas, right?
Dallas.
I was like, "Yo, do y'all not see? Are y'all kidding me, bro? Like he could have been here, player, coach, but y'all let him slide."
You know what? And that's the biggest thing that I think one of the biggest things that the league is missing is that 10+ year vet that has so much, but they want to know, can they still play? PJ Tucker just got picked up by the Knicks. There's a reason why. Yeah, can he still play? Yeah, a little bit. PJ can play, but when you play Boston, the physicality, hey, we know tendency and moves. Hey, I know a coach knows what he's talking about, and so you want that 15th, 14th man to echo what the coach is saying.
sure.
But at the same time is PJ's one of the best defenders when he played.
bended it.
He knows a little bit that could help a coach.
Yep.
There are some players that help coaches be better,
Yep.
and to be able to see it and through film. And me and Coach Sweetie, we hit Book up one time of how his defense of always contesting. He wasn't always like that, and he taking it more serious. And we'd watch film of his last 1,000 ISOs. Like we'll do different projects of when Minnesota top defense or Cleveland, what makes them be a good defense with so-called bad defenders. And so we try to
Because of them
implement it.
damn bigs, bro.
Right.
They got
So
underrated bigs.
now
bro.
it's Markieff Morris. We had him this year. He came back because he was the one vet that was cool with Kyrie and Luka. He could tell Luka, you messing up. Kyrie, come on now. Like
It's bigger, bro.
yeah,
It's bigger.
and they don't get it. And I heard the PA's trying to add a spot like the 15th guy has to be someone. I probably won't happen, but they want to go younger and younger, man.
You better be getting paid because that shit's valuable. You can't be turning into daycare for the older guys.
bro, and that's half of what it is because
That's crazy.
I mean you see, man, what's going on with the
Of course.
IG girls to the smoking to this. You got to have a vet of balance,
Nipping all that in
understanding,
the
and
bud.
coaches. It's a fine line to get involved in that. You don't want to get them involved. You're there for help. That's a vet where I had mine of Jermaine O'Neal, of finances, understanding
Educational
education.
purposes,
That's what
bro.
it was. Contracts. Hey, I think I'm getting 75. My man, listen.
There's
Only
no
three
way
teams
you're
have
getting
cap space.
75, bro.
Only
Like,
three teams. The math is not adding up.
It's
And so
not
I would tell
mathing.
people all the time. I said, listen, the market is probably about 40 to 55 million for these 2 or 3 people.
listen, bro.
It's how we do that now. Like, hey, listen, of how much a player's going to get, and we go, and it's very rare that we're wrong, and it might be off here and there, about 5 or 10 million. But with yours, and when you got yours, is no one saw
I
that
was
coming.
just about to
Remember?
say it, bro.
Like, we're thinking,
Yeah.
like, yo, hey, listen, this was available, and then once once KD for the sign and trade, now it opens it up. No one even thought that's a possibility. That's how it comes at the end.
Bro, I remember we called you. This is when he first got to probably hear your voice, bro.
Yeah.
We in the,
This is when I heard.
you
like,
tell the
Doug-
story. You
Yeah.
tell the
No,
story.
this was he's in Golden State,
Right.
And I'd probably been like doing stuff with him now for probably like 4 months, and the trade deadline's like 2 days away, and we're talking about all the different scenarios. I think at that time it was like New York Knicks wanted D and Minnesota Timberwolves did, and I get to the room on film and he was just like, nah, I gotta call Doug.
They wait for me to say, you want to go to New York or Minnesota? I love New York, bro.
Let's say you're going to Minnesota. Let's really look at their roster, okay?
Who is that?
Jared Dudley.
I agree with everything he just said.
Guru. Make me want to go to the Knicks
I was
now.
And so he called you,
show.
and you're talking exactly the way you are now, and you were spilling every single thing out to him. He was
Yeah.
like, you go to New York, you got this, and this, and this, and then you were like, but Minnesota, and you were like this, and this. And I remember the one thing you said, it was like, in this league, it's special when somebody wants you.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember that.
For
We could pull up
sure.
the tape of you talking about it, but that's
We
when
definitely got the tape.
That's when I realized I was like, whoa, like there's so much more to this than what I've ever imagined.
And the big thing, especially, I think he dealt with that too. Sometimes they pay you to trade you, which is fine.
Right.
People look at it as a disrespect. Like, listen, get the most you can, and eventually Minnesota. Remember walking out. Remember, I think you had something
Yeah,
you wanted,
yeah.
and you went back there.
Yep. It worked out.
Ain't no problem. When you
Right.
get in there, hey, listen, they
Can't
were
burn
mad then. They'll be happy. It goes the same way with players, bro. I talked about with Kuzma, and Kuzma's here. Like, he signed a 2-year with a player option after 3, and I just told him this to say, listen, you could potentially wait. I said, you got Braun, AD, we're going for a finals run. Your number's already going to be less. you can't start because of how the roster makeup doesn't work. So go ahead and get you 20, 30 million in the bank. Sign your little $40 million deal, save it, get your player option, and by that time we win it, you're probably gonna get traded because with the assets of how that means, unless you work in.
Play out.
Yeah, before you play out, you get traded, and that next team that trades for you has to pay you, and it ended up working out so perfect.
For sure.
He signed it, and then eventually Washington, 100 plus.
Yep.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. Like you just got to be. But what it is you hear about
guidance.
Someone else getting paid. Oh, I'm better than him. Well, people that have when I got paid my 3 for 30, that was at that big. That's when the cap spiked. That's when KD went to Golden State, and the NBA PA decided, hey, put all the extra TV money into this CBA for this year. So there was an extra like 100 million. Luol Deng got paid. Mozgov got paid, and I got into that one. If another year I might have got 1 for 8, but it was so much extra money, and I just got lucky. So it's just timing. Timing's everything in this league. Understanding it. Hey, and now with the hard cap of this one, if your team wants you, you gotta take the money from your team. When you go in that free agency, it's really not that much free agency no more. The old NBA, that was 2-3 years ago. Everything's hard cap.
What do you mean by the no free agency?
There's no bourgeoisie. There's no in between.
No
middle.
It basically the new CBA ended up being hard cap, and that's why the owners didn't want people like the Clippers and Warriors, even though they're on your team, can keep spending. You'll see Boston. It's going to get ready to happen this summer. They're going to have to pick through one of these 4 of these 5 guys. Holiday might leave, or Porzingis, just because you can't. There's a first apron and a second apron, and so just like us, you've heard the rumors about the Mavs. Oh, might have to forfeit injuries. We're hard cap. We can't sign a 10-day. We can't sign any more guys. We have a roster spot open because you're hard cap. You can't go over. So then now when free agencies are happening, people are already at that first or second apron. They don't want to go over, and so even if they have money, they're not spending it. And so it's only 3 or 4 teams, and so you might have all these free agents. That's why it's better to take the extension now. Before, hey, I might go into it knowing that, hey, I'm a point guard, and these 4 teams need a point guard, and they all have cap space.
It don't work like that.
It's not the same anymore. They're all doing extensions and trading it. That's how it's working with the Fox trades and all these other people. Sign and trade. That's how it is. And now you see the Jimmy Butler one. It's now they want to be star on star. Or that's the Wiggins contract to go with it. They want it to be equal.
Versus 8 draft picks for 1 guy and some.
And why would a team take 6 players to get to Kevin Durant, $60 million to flood it to all minutes? They're not doing that.
1,000%. 1,000%.
There's one thing you said in the beginning of this, and then you start talking again about like you being able to like tell Bron like, hey, you got to do that, you can't do that, blah blah. And then the beginning of all this entire length that we've been talking, you said something about how you got to know like how to have fun and all those things. I remember AD vividly talking to us when he did the pod with us about how you guys in the bubble like had fun. Mm-hmm. And so he like made that like a testament. It was like we were always playing Madden, we were doing something.
Yep.
And so like I guess
that was you for sure. You probably
AD was the Madden one. Me and Bron didn't even play Madden that time. I played growing up, and we started a Madden like league, and we started talking trash, having it. You had your own theme song, and at this time, this is when Versus was huge, and it was like the Snoop and DMX, and it was such a big one because it was like East Coast, West Coast. And I remember we were in Bron's room having a good time, and drinking wine, relaxing. And I remember what's his name? Dion Waiters comes in with all his chains on, like he about to go to the club and for DMX, and you had people coming in. I think I came with some Chucks for Snoop. It was just like we had it, and it was just like 10 guys. Glasses of wine, some tequila maybe at the time, and we're watching in the bubble, and that's like 70% how we won. Like
that's sick.
Most people didn't enjoy it. I'm not saying we enjoyed it, but we didn't hate it.
I made the most of it.
Made the most of it, had it going on, but nah, man, like you gotta have a connect. We call them connectors. You gotta have connectors in some way. Some of it, you only can play 9 or 10 guys. There's 15 guys on the roster plus 3 two-ways.
You ain't gotta give me all the jewels, but I always wondered like. You don't gotta give it. You don't give me too much. But J Kidd, bro, he always finds a way with those groups to like get the best out of them. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
What would you say?
I've had J Kidd many times. So I had
him in Milwaukee.
I had him in Milwaukee, and I also had an assistant coach with the Lakers. That's how I got this job, right? Because I was with him, and he knew how I was then. That's what he offered me.
He got something. What is it?
It's crazy because you wouldn't think of maybe you would as a player. He's super calm and collective as a coach. Rarely raised his tone. If he does, then we did something wrong, coaching staff or players. And I just think that the respect of making it so easy or sounding easy, and connecting it to either your lifestyle, family, because he's big on family and getting to know how your family is, to down the court is if he's making fun of, Kyrie's bounce passes or how we can do it. And once or twice a year, he'll get on the court. That's the pass right there, throwing lobs and how he does it. And I just think that he's someone, he always says no stress. What's so hard about that? Let's run it back. And he's big on teaching. Hey, D'Lo, what? If we just scored twice, why would you not run the same play? Let's go. Now, it's not going to be the same play. It's the counters. Let's go through the counters right now. Boom. So he breaks it down and keeps breaking it down. Him and Rondo got in a little, even called spat, like, hey, listen, Rondo, I thought this. Well, why would you think this if Bron just scored? Why wouldn't you not want, and so it's good to see him testing you, but not testing you, raising his tone, not testing you more of a mental, hey, listen, I expect more from you. I want more from you. And the last thing I'll say about J. Kidd, he's always been a big advocate trying to get you paid. Before Chris Middleton was Chris Middleton, he's like, listen, if you listen to me, I'm gonna get you paid. And at that time, I'm thinking, man, Middleton, like, what you think he's getting? Right. And then the player he turned into, that not 80, 90, and he's made over 200. Sure. I mean, but he was seeing it back then. Brunson, he's coming to contract extension. I mean, he's coming up with a contract the next year. He comes off the bench. I'm going to start both of y'all. I believe it. Gets to 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's never been like of the politics side. Hey, I'm for a player. And he always asks before the year, all right, who's a free agent? You 3, 4. Hey, we'll make sure we know we want to take care of everybody. Let's make sure we get these guys. So he comes at you from a financial, a mental, and then it's J. Kidd. And then he got the backwards hat, his swagger. It's just different, bro.
Shout out J. Kidd. I knew he had, y'all know, but I noticed him.
Yeah.
Shout out J. Kidd,
I don't even think he gets enough credit, bro.
Right?
And I say that just because when I first got there, Dallas was considered one of the worst defensive teams. We finished 6th our first year in defense. Coach, shout out to Sean Sweeney, because we call him a little mini Tom Thibodeau.
I see him over there working.
He's working, right? And so we were 6th. We had Luka and Brunson that were considered great defenders. Next year, Brunson leaves. We struggle, don't make it. Come back with Kai and that one. They go to the finals. And how it is. And yes, Luka's all world, everything, but then you have Kai, different dimensions from an offense, from a defense, from a strategic. Hey, and he's someone like, I'll try anything. We're going to work on it, film, let's try. And so just for me.
Bro. I notice how many variables he brings to his coaching approach. And I respect him. And I see Coach Jenkins just get fired or whatnot.
Bro, I was talking about, obviously, how players be gossiping? Us coaches, we gossip to each other or gossip or just understanding, because I want to understand the business. I haven't seen a coach within 9 games. You see it. I've seen Earl Watson 3 games into the season. I've seen.
You about to say with 8 games left?
Yes, 8 games. You know what I'm saying? And now the 8 games, huh? Coach of the year. Coach of the year. I mean, listen, I've seen Coach of the Year
Dwayne
after the season. Casey, George Karl when I first. That one you have seen a little bit more, because every year you'll see it. A playoff team, they get bounced out early. They blame the coach. So you will see a good coach get fired. That's not. Jenkins one's a little bit different because they're the 4th seed.
That's different.
And it's before 9. But you guys will see, like, there's a lot of writing on the wall, not just with Coach Jensen, players. If I'm a head coach and you fire my staff, writing's on the wall. If you are a player and they say, hey, listen, D'Lo, you're only playing 25 minutes. When they start capping you, they told me when I signed my contract in December, Jared, you're done for the year.
Right away.
I was in December and I had Dragic.
They about to change their approach.
Bro, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you see writings on the wall of who if they draft, 2 power forwards on a position, hey, I'll groom them whenever the time comes, and then they'll let you know. So the writing on the wall usually comes beforehand, man. But as you guys know, it's a crazy business. Like anything, like there's nothing that should shock you, even though we get shocked once in a while.
They traded Luka.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn it.
And that was shock for the coaches, shock for. Like,
I bet.
People don't know. Like, listen.
Bet. Nobody knows, bro. I knew nobody knew when they said, when every year during free agency stuff happens and everybody swears they know. Nobody knows for the last few years. It happens when it happens, but a lot of times niggas don't know, bro.
No, especially early on. You might know once that agent or the general manager hits one of the media guys at the last minute before, man. When KD went to Golden State, no one saw it coming. It always, when Bron went to Miami, no one's like, you might have a little bit, there's whispers of when Kai was in Boston, we heard the Brooklyn, we heard the Knicks.
But the way he did it was so cutthroat. He went in front of the fans, told them, I ain't going nowhere, bro.
But let's be real. As you know, stuff do change though.
Oh, for sure.
That might have been in October, November.
For sure.
And it'd be 100%
Listen,
real.
I thought it was because
Bro.
the way they did Isaiah Thomas, he was like, shit, I'm about to just get y'all back for the way y'all did the homie, man.
bro.
Like, y'all did him dirty.
bro, in this business, like stuff
crazy.
changes
Nah,
super
1000%.
fast, bro. So
I mean, we can cut this out, but I'm
Yeah.
curious as like a fan, like what the heck happened with that Luka AD trade? Like,
yo, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, AD, like Dallas has always coveted AD.
Yeah.
Just over his. I mean, who doesn't cover AD? I mean, AD's the best, one of the best two ways, and it's Victor and him, right? When it comes to that
For
one.
sure.
And I just think that, you know, just defensively, their mindset of AD, Pi Lively, PJ of the front court having Kai. And thinking that was a better chance to win. You know, time will tell for us. But that first game that we played versus Houston,
oh my.
it was just like so electric. And I'm like, how are people about to score? Because Lively was hurt at that time, and I'm thinking, and I'm still thinking about that now. Like once we get whole, and I know Kyrie, fast recovery for him, but eventually once we get it going, like when you have AD, and people don't understand how good defensively Lively is. Like, and he's still young. He's like the Bam Adebayo where like you could see a future All-Star coming in 4 or 5 years.
I
Like
agree.
once he gets his stuff going with him, PJ at the 3 sides, Gafford, or you know, you just switch him and Gafford and Lively. You saw in Minnesota just the size how it may be. But you know, like, man, listen, there's so many nuances and trades and how it may be, and a hidden gem in that trade, and he played for us well for us early on. Max Christie, of understanding that one, and I understand that because I was a throw-in technically for a trade in Phoenix, but people know how good Max Christie is for his age, and those type of role players with contracts are valuable. But I mean,
a worker.
Luka's Luka. I mean, goodness, I know the Laker fans are happy. He's all world, all everything, and he'll be tearing it up here in the playoffs here shortly. And
sure.
he's getting ready to make his home. You know, coming back here, debut here, and shortly.
Crazy.
We'll see it. It's on probably on Telemundo, every TV station possible.
I swear when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was like, it was good for the NBA. It was good for the NBA.
Great for NBA.
You know what I mean?
They were talking about ratings being down and that. Anything
It's good for the NBA.
Lakers, Knicks, to get those guys. But no, I mean, I just wish that eventually we didn't have our injuries, we're whole. It makes the rivalry, makes stuff a little bit better and stuff like that. But it's going to be a fun playoffs. See
Who you got?
can.
Who you got?
I mean,
I know it's hard.
To me, it's not that hard until someone beats Boston, including us.
Somebody got to be Boston.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Drew Holiday, White, and Porzingis are your 3rd, 4th, 5th. That is a tough. Cleveland has been the biggest surprise of how they've gone about it. And if the Lakers, just with when it comes to
They got a lot
Luka,
of
Reeves,
different
yeah, and people understand this. You know, Maxi Kleber, who's one of our best defenders, I don't know if he's going to come back from his foot. If he does, that's a dimension people aren't even talking about it. But nah, man,
He ain't even mentioned OKC. So
yeah,
he's
no,
just saying
no. OKC, because you know what? For the TV for that one, they always get that one because my whole thing is when we played OKC, we knew the youth and we knew we had the size and girth. But not that many teams have what Dallas has. So, you know, Lakers don't have that. They have the star power, but they don't have the girth where, hey, you can post up shade with PJ Washington.
sure.
You can have Gafford on the rim against, a Chet who's under,
sure.
Obviously doesn't have that size. But
hear
no,
you.
OKC, listen, it would not surprise me OKC get into the finals
I
this
just
year.
love their coach, bro.
No, listen. They got the whole
boy.
little slip screens and go and shade mid range and how
Bro.
they are. They love hanging out with each other.
That
post-game.
matters.
No, it does matter,
What?
and that's why it took Boston 3-4 years. Would it be surprised if someone got them in this? If Lakers or if Denver somehow got them? I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but overall, just of the experience. But to me, it's Boston until they start losing some of these guys here, and unless someone plays the best high brand of basketball.
Y'all heard it here first.
Come on.
You said one thing that the Cavs like surprised like everyone, and I talked to D about this because you guys played
Yeah.
with Kenny, and so I guess I've already picked his brain on it, but like seeing Kenny do that with him, like
Kenny, out of all coaches I've had, has been the most fiery. He's on the court with you when you work out. He's in there passing. He's in there. He was the only coach that I've had that I've seen hold other coaches accountable during practices. Coaches, you're messing up.
Why y'all all talking over there?
Yep.
He's yelling at him.
Boom. Hey, get back in there or you're not at your station. So the accountability level of Kenny when he had it was big. He was just getting to the whole analytics of people not being able to shoot the mid-range except for D'Lo. It was like 2 different ones, and he was on that one. Great communicator. a balance of that one. And I think that kind of like you see with Jay Kidd and you see with a lot of coaches, when you become a head coach or you get fired,
chilling.
and then you get to go be an assistant and learn from Golden State, Draymond, Steve Kerr, which Jay Kidd had, and Vogel and Braun, and then you get your whole job. Sometimes it relaxes you, you breathe. Sometimes you understand, hey, I'm on a vet team. We were young, and our vets were me, Ed Davis, DeMar Carroll, and we weren't good enough to really help. We were just trying to help the young players reach their potential. Donovan Mitchell is a top 10, 15 player in the NBA. Garland's an all-star. Mobley, it's been his biggest one of coming up. That's why where they're at is Mobley has taken that step.
For sure.
Jared Allen was always going to be Jared Allen. And then they've had certain role players off the bench now of taking a step where, to me, Kenny's always been like that. Like, hey, listen, politics or not, if you're hooping, you staying out of there.
He's giving the best player.
Yeah.
He not off coaching off that damn slip
card,
subbing
on the
dudes
card,
off
yeah,
the card.
who's in, who's
he
out,
got a feel on that
time
shit, bro. As a head
gotta
coach,
have
I
a
feel like
feel.
you got to have a feel, bro, or at least your assistant got to have a feel.
The card, how I've seen it now, and we use it, different teams use it. The card for me is more so, it's just it's just there because at the end of the game, he played 30, played 35, but it is a feel. That one's there just in case. It's not the end all be all coaches.
Respect.
It's
a lot going on as coaches too to be able to keep up with that little card and having guys play minutes, and I know that's tough too.
Bro, guy hits 2 shots. Hey, you're doing the whole thing. Luka has to come back in the game. AD has to get. I might have to take it for someone. Does Clay?
Then you lose him for the next step because he mad.
Can I? Hey, listen. And my whole thing is you gotta let him know. Sometimes you gotta let him chill out, let him get mad, and then come on the timeout. Listen, I get it. You're supposed to play a little bit longer. Get it back in the second half. And what people don't understand is if you average 9 points or 11 points, that doesn't really determine your 2 to extra 10 million. It's your understanding of the game. Can you make the reads?
Yeah.
What do you shoot from 3? And so you got to understand those 2 to 3 points. I've seen people 9 points a game get 89. What did Caruso just get? 85. What we think Caruso's averaging? Bro, 9, 10 max. He guards. He's tough. He knows how to make the right read. He'll sacrifice his body.
Playing 80 games.
And so
All
that's
that.
why I try to teach these young guys. But
This is exactly where we can. You got one?
Yeah, it's different temperament than what we kind of been on, but it's back to the Kenny one. Have you seen the Jeff T just talk about
Barefoot?
Because he's talking about how fiery he is. Did y'all see that? Y'all both had Kenny.
He
Was
tore
out there
his
barefoot?
Achilles. Remember?
yeah, I wasn't there for the Achilles because I was there. What story? He's walking around barefooted?
This is when he was in Atlanta.
Barefoot. Jeff T was like, he would work out with him in player development. He would be out there playing barefoot.
Kind of saying exactly what you
Yeah.
said.
Fiery.
Bro.
Kenny, he's like, y'all seen it. So
I saw it for sure.
No, I didn't see him being barefooted, but I saw the energy on the floor. It was, a trip to me of how seeing the head coach on the floor of doing the player development, helping out, really being there, pushing you. I never seen it like that before. And I mean, he's from New York. He had that energy from him. And the one thing I'll say about Kenny is sometimes I would go to the coaches meeting and we lost a lot of close games early on, obviously being young. And I just told him and said, hey, Kenny, I can't tell you who to play. It's not my job. But I'd always have a vet or two at the end of the game to help these young guys. Even if it costs us a game, it's going to help them in the long run. And he could have said, get out of my office, don't care. He always had a little 3 capsules of me, Ed Davis, and Damari, and he started doing that. Did we lose a game after that? Probably so, but it helped the development of telling D'Lo. Now I'm on the court with D'Lo, hey, listen, this is what they're doing, hey, and you can kind of feed off. And so I respect coaches that are open to that, and Kenny was. And so I bet you his development, if I had a conversation with him of what he learned from Draymond and Kerr and what's different now that he didn't have in Brooklyn, I bet you it's night and day.
Yeah, I got another one for you. Y'all did, I think it's Brooklyn's biggest comeback. Y'all was both a part of that in Sacramento. Y'all talked to about that. You said you were setting the half court.
I tell people, I tell
fine.
people this now. People don't understand it. I just came back off a hamstring injury. I was out
supposed to play the
16,
minutes, probably.
18 games. I wasn't even supposed to play. Getting DNPs at that time, three, four games in a row. And we were in Sacramento, and after shoot around, we actually stayed and played 5-on-5. So when D'Lo and the starters in the top 8, 9 went back to the hotel, we stayed. It was, my man Chat, listen here, he was there with Damari, Rondé, Hollis Jefferson.
Napier,
we're playing with the coaches. It's some coaches, some player development. And we're playing, and we're hooping for like 45 minutes. Got a good sweat. So now you go to the game, you're good. And I just remember them being down by like 19 or 20 in the end of the third. And Kenny's like, get them all out. And once we get there, I think he just kept D'Lo at that time.
Yep.
And at that time, we were just getting stops. And D'Lo had it going. And at that time, I knew and people are doing it more now. I don't see it as much as back then.
That high
was
ball
the
screen.
high half-court ball screen.
I ain't
You don't
seen it
really
since.
see it.
I ain't
You
seen
don't
it
really see it
since.
as much. You see it. Draymond will get it with Curry, but
It's
that's
so
what I was doing.
unguardable,
No,
bro.
it's so tough for bigs.
Come on.
And he started hitting threes, and then Rondé started getting and ones, and you could just see the momentum. You left the game.
I literally was outside watching the game.
Bro.
What's my man? What's that powerful man? The European one. He played for Golden State.
Yes.
What's his name?
Bajelica.
Yeah.
Bellinelli?
Nope.
Not Bellinelli.
Bajelica. Yeah. Bajelica.
You can shoot it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think we're messing it up. I think
was
we're
playing the
messing
4 or
up. He
5.
was playing the 4. He was guarding me, and I was putting him in every ball screen. He was hitting, getting and ones, and I just remember getting close. And then Rondé hit a big shot. He hits a big 3. I get one big 3.
We got to pull up the clip.
And I remember, see, listen, I'll tell people this behind, and I tell this story to even coaches and players. Once we won, we had like 2 days in between. And I told Kenny, I said, Kenny, listen, this wasn't even planned. When we get to LA, I'm going to take the team on the bus. We're going to go out. We're not even going to go to, I don't know if you remember that.
Straight from the.
We went straight from there. And people understand that why. It's because we had a day off the next day. We just had the biggest win. We go to the club. We end up partying, whatever, have the next day off, have shoot around, and then we end up beating the Lakers.
Remember the tension
We-
around that time?
We needed those wins.
Yeah.
Lou Will just gamed us. Remember that?
Yeah.
Y'all had just lost to Portland when you and Dame was going at. Did y'all lose to Portland?
I think we.
Yeah. Listen, if you look at it, those are only 2 games we won on that road trip. If you go back.
They lose
Yeah.
that game,
Yeah.
Remember we went zone at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Lou Will ran. I said, why are we in zone, bro? What?
I got another one, y'all. Another battle for y'all. When y'all were in the first round in Philly, did y'all really think y'all had a chance against that one? Or was it
Hell yeah! Remember we went there and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would eventually get us in the series. No, it's what happened. When we won game 1,
Thought we had them
people
rattled.
say, listen, when I say this, people are going to be laughing and think I'm lying. I won game 1. I missed game 2. I hurt my calf,
remember.
which I tell the coaches laugh at me. The calf is the new ankle injury.
Nothing.
Bro, so when I missed that second game calf, that's when the remarks I made about Ben Simmons. Game 3, he goes crazy. I start game 4. That's when I get thrown
First
out.
game back.
We get him winning. And so, I'm going to be honest with you.
So
They
it was
were
your fault.
supposed to
It
win.
was your fault.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when I say it's my fault, the Ben Simmons one, I didn't say that like, listen, he thought he took it as such a diss, but it really was breaking down his game.
Sure.
Like, he was an all-star in transition. He was average half court of, hey, he didn't have a real one-on-one pass. So he
It
took
gave
it
him
as a
motivation,
diss.
right?
Yeah, he took it as a diss. But I was saying like, yo, this man in transition was like Bron-esque. Could pass, could dunk on you. I just at that time wasn't.
And they had Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's when Jimmy, when like they started putting him in ball screens, I was like, hold on, I never seen this Jimmy.
Bruh.
Jimmy was in ball screens, and that's really what ended up taking
They
it
had
over.
way too much
JJ,
power, bro.
Tobias.
Tobias.
But no lie, like I tell people all the time, before I get thrown out that game with the whole Embiid and Jimmy, dog, we was up like 9 or 10 at the end of that third. Like,
took that
could they,
momentum.
could they have come back and won? Yeah, that was the type of series that's supposed to go 6.
Yeah, I think y'all were. I think during the regular season, y'all had actually beat them a lot, and like the guard play was.
We always killed them.
The
For sure.
guards killed them.
Spence or Karras were absolutely.
Ben was doing a good job picking up in the playoffs. And then, it's just different to make shots. Joe Harris struggled in that series. It's just tough. When that playoff hit, Jimmy's playing 38 instead of 32 in the playoff in the regular
It's
season.
different.
It's different.
It's
And
different.
Embiid now in the post, like it was just such a different dynamic.
I will say-
and those young boys weren't ready for that level. You know what I'm saying? Like as they were in years past. You see Allen now and Karras, those guys.
They bullied us in
Bro.
a sense. They bullied us in a sense, and we weren't. Like I remember we was trying to play Toronto at the time. Toronto ended up going to win it all. Remember we was trying to play Toronto because we liked the matchup. They ended up winning it all.
Actually,
Bro,
it's crazy.
it's crazy as hell. But before we let you go, bro,
Yeah.
flowers, dog. Once again, I know you got something cooking. Summer, year or two, whatever, wherever you at, you deserve it and some, bro. So flowers again for being here, bro. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Keep it going.
Appreciate you doing
Come on.
this. Come on, bro. Love. Shout out Juju. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Bamboozle. Where he at right
Yes.
now? I know
LA.
he moving. He still got his shit going
Yeah,
on.
he's in Fashion Week. He'll be in Summer League Vegas.
That nigga doing gigs. He was at Kuz's golf event.
Yeah.
Doing the DJing. I was like, bro, you really out here?
No, he's out here.
Love that.
Yes. Yes.
He definitely on that. He played Bron every day.
Yeah, no, listen, I used to was beating both their heads in. Actually, Braun was better than me early on, and then we started getting after the bubble. I started getting at him, killing Bamboozle. I stopped for a year. That nigga got nice as hell.
Bro, them niggas be watching
I was like,
tutorial
yo.
videos and shit. You watch Bron, he really be watching tutorial
we
videos.
were hitting YouTubers up.
He's on
Oh,
that.
man, yeah,
Teach
I
me
was
something.
too, yeah,
Bro, y'all crazy.
Bro, you're playing for money.
I hear you.
when y'all were in that road trip.
There you go.
My fault, brother.
When y'all was on that road trip, and I remember like the tension around that because it was like we had knew that Sean Marsh was like, I got for an all-star guard who makes the playoffs. Y'all made the playoff. We was an all-star guard, but y'all was in and out. Like depending on how y'all lost the game, y'all could have been out the playoffs. The last 6. And I remember when you got the house. You had rented a house or something like that in the hills or something.
Yo,
like
yeah,
that.
threw a party.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's what y'all need. I think I went. I was like,
Yeah.
it's a team thing.
This is
Oh,
when
like,
we. This
is
when I.
what
Yeah.
y'all needed.
But you know what? Like you try to, for the young guys, even someone like Book and him, like you show them how it's done. So then now when it's your time, you're trying to pass it on. You're trying to be able to do it, and that's really how it's supposed to be.
What's crazy?
Someone told me about it.
Dudes do it so wrong though when they get that
Yes.
power. They don't give it to the young dudes right. They don't reciprocate it the right way.
I mean, y'all really think about it. Like y'all vets was like for y'all team, y'all were the perfect vets for that Brooklyn
For
team,
sure.
and that's the energy in Brooklyn now.
Because
they talk about that team.
we didn't take anything away from him. Like it wasn't like I'm taking away his all-star. I'm in here catch and shoot. Damari do his little hook, play his defense, and rebounding, throwing it to you.
I still talk
You know
to
what I'm
him.
saying?
Oh, yeah,
Ed was so,
that's
like,
my brother.
Like Ed was so like big for them when you even got to like Timberwolves, just like with those young guys.
He came to the Timberwolves with us for a year or
Same
two.
Same energy, same presence. He quiet when he say something. Everybody be quiet and listen to him.
Well,
Like,
for
it's the
sure.
Same energy.
For sure.
Losing his face.
Because also, too, people understand like those type of vets that are 10, 11, 12, they can now say something to the coach. He's trying to get paid. He's not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Kenny, what we got going on here? Like,
Yeah.
what you doing? Like, are we trying to win? Are we not trying to win? And then he can't give the same answer to someone who's year 12 to someone who's year 2 or 3. I'm like, nah, Jared. I'm like, nah, listen, how you guys are doing the subbing? Like, and a lot of times, I might get a DNP. I'm not even talking about me.
Yeah.
Why isn't so and so?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we did that in LA. Like, it's so funny that, when you can learn from coaches, like, yo, why are you not playing Caruso? Because at this time, Caruso was playing better than Rondo. Like, what's going on? Like, I knew we were trying to win a championship, and they'd always tell me, listen, we're just keeping Rondo mentally ready for the playoffs. So I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
That's smart.
Hey, so when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm not going to say nothing no more. Because I'm looking at, Caruso locking up. Why is he not playing?
And
in
you
this
fighting
fourth
for it.
quarter?
You just didn't know.
I'm fighting for Caruso, and I'm listening to Jay Kidd. Like, listen, this is our plan with Rondo. Try and get him.
But there's a
need him for
plan.
championship. I was like, you know what? When I heard that, I said, say no more.
There's a plan though. That's what
no more.
that's what they don't do for players though. They
Yeah.
don't give them that plan. They'll have them
Yeah,
right,
tell
keep
them.
them right.
Yeah.
I'm out, bro. This is
I see y'all boys. Thank you, man. Come on.
come on, bro. This shit about to go crazy.